Greetings. My name is Sarah Simonson, and I'm the Engagement Specialist for NSERS, the Nebraska Statewide Workforce and Educational Reporting System. In this video, I will briefly introduce you to the data products for the employment location outcome within Insights Plus, the NSERS Secure Web Platform. Let's start out with some context. We have the same 6 stages of analysis for each outcome, but the data products within may differ in presentation and functionality due to the nature of each outcome. The 6 stages of analysis are meant to build upon each other in their complexity and increase the data-informed decision-making value to the partners as they progress. The initial landing page for the employment location outcome is the homepage, which presents a high-level statewide summary view of the outcome. Users can select a population relevant to the outcome and a year to further define it. When you select the population dropdown, a population description is now provided to help users select their desired population, as you can see here. The employment location outcome highlights talent retention, which takes into consideration students in the workforce in Nebraska after exiting a partner post-secondary institution. We show the talent retention rate for the selected population, the rate over time, and we also visualize it shown here using a Sankey chart. We also summarize key aggregated demographic variables of the selected population shown here. If you change the year or population, these numbers will update in real time. Finally, we list key motivations and resources for the outcome here below. The first stage of analysis is Explore. The purpose of Explore is to better understand the outcome, how it is defined and measured, and provide literature reviews from relevant sources. The talent retention rate for the selected year and population is displayed, along with the definitions for the outcome and for talent retention. The highlight of Explore is the literature review that provides examples specific to Nebraska, resources, and an annotated bibliography for reference. Items identified within the Explore stage and literature review will also be utilized as we move through the other stages. The next stage is Describe. Describe provides single variable descriptive statistics and visualizations about the historical and current state of education and workforce systems. The main feature of Describe is the visualization of the talent retention rate, which is depicted as a Sankey chart, as you can see here, for the selected year and population. This Sankey chart shows the flow of students beginning with their origin through their final Nebraska post-secondary institution and categorizes them based on whether or not they were retained in Nebraska for employment. As you hover over the various components of the chart, you can see the count of the students along each pathway. For example, hovering over in-state student origin will highlight the public post-secondary institutions that students from Nebraska attended. Then, by hovering over the institutions themselves, in the middle here, you can see the total count of students for that year and the breakdown of where the students originated and then where they were employed. Finally, if you hover over the employment location, the path back to the institutions is highlighted. The third stage of analysis is Explain, the purpose of which is to investigate bivariate relationships between the outcome and student level attributes. The variable selector allows the user to drill further down into their selected population. Users can select variables to be displayed in the talent retention chart in the variable selector, or here in the top impacts table. For the degree career cluster for this year and population, these are the percentages of the population that were retained for each cluster category. This data can be viewed by a single year or longitudinally. Due to the considerable number of categories within the degree career cluster variable, textures have been applied to some of the lines to help differentiate the career fields. Also, users can hover over the legend, as you can see here, and they will highlight the categories above for easily seeing the different outcomes. Also, you can come up here and hover over to see the specific percentages at the specific years. We also provide a crosstab table that shows the counts of talent retention and non-talent retention for the categories in the variable, which also follow our data masking policy where necessary. The next stage of analysis is Predict. The purpose of Predict is to understand which student level traits are predictive of talent retention and begin to help users understand which adjustments to variables may have the most, if any, impact. Since our predictions are model-based, we provide model performance metrics on this page. We describe predicted probability and provide technical notes about the models used for the stage of analysis. The things that matter graph is separated into quadrants that represent the likely impact and influence that variables have on predicting talent retention. The information in this graph is also displayed in list form. If a variable from any quadrant or list is selected, the where things matter graph is displayed. This chart shows the distribution of predicted probabilities of talent retention for each post-secondary exiter. For example, when total wages is selected, which we define as prior meaningful work experience, you can see the predicted probability of retaining talent increases when the wages earned increases, though, as you can see, there are outliers. The next stage of analysis is forecast, the purpose of which is to help decision makers understand how an outcome might look in the future based on historical data and what may happen if the status quo remains the same. You are first presented with the what to expect graph, which shows the annual talent retention count or rate. The count here, select the toggle over here, over time for the data years in the NSERS system as they are observed. The observed counts and the rates are also noted below in the table for reference, as well as the models and combination forecasts. The combined forecast is noted in the plot with the dashed line in the region of uncertainty, which shows the trajectories that the outcome might have in the future. We also include a critical note that the forecast models are based on historical data, and due to events in the past recent few years, there are considerable uncertainty about the impact of these historical patterns and the impact on the future trends. The next stage of analysis is simulate, the purpose of which is to help focus discussions on where you are going and how you might get there, and guide the conversation around interventions, programs, or policy changes that might have an impact on identified goals. You can also toggle between count and rate for the simulate product depending on your needs as a user. The purpose of this data product in the employment location outcome is to simulate effects on in-state talent retention by adjusting the makeup of enrollees at Nebraska public post-secondary institutions and the proportion of post-secondary students that have meaningful work experiences in Nebraska. You can view this for 2-year or 4-year post-secondary institutions. And the variables with the slider bars are defined within the information I next to the name of the variable. To create a simulation, any of these variables displayed may be adjusted along with the target value to see what types of interventions could be made to meet a target count or rate of talent retention. Let's say you want to increase the total retention count by 250, and we'll stick with the 2-year institution type. If you increase the number of out-of-state students to 900, which is currently at 761, and you run your simulate, you'll see that you'll now have a 100% chance that you will increase your talent retention, but you will not be meeting your goal. If we add another intervention, for example, adding 100 students who did not go to college, but who will maybe now go to college, that significantly increases the probability of getting close to the target retention, and now a 3% chance of actually meeting or exceeding that goal. Adjusting the students from Nebraska that went out of state, let's say by another 100, will increase the talent retention of meeting or exceeding the target by 77%. If there was an intervention that could increase the proportion of students who had meaningful wages from the current 86% to, let's say, 95%, you can see that there is now a 100% chance of meeting or exceeding the target of 7,190 people retained as talent. Those are the products within the 6 stages of analysis for the employment location outcome at a high level for their initial release into Insights Plus. For more information about NSERS, please visit www.nsers.org. Thanks for watching.